Welcome to the Media Bubble Podcast, the podcast that talks about movies, animes, comics, video games, and whatever we feel like. I'm your host, Fredrik, and with me as always is my co-host, Karol.
Hello everyone.
And today we're going to talk about E3 2022. Or E3 didn't exactly happen this year, but there was a lot of conference where E3 usually would take place.
So Summer Games, not E3, shebang, showcase.
Yeah, it was kind of the same for us that just watched it digitally.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly as you said. It was just the same. Like, even if there wasn't like a major conference, it still felt like a really packed in like event.
Yeah, and we're also spreading a bit of time here with, I guess, this whole month, because there was some things that we're going to talk about that happens a bit earlier, and I have heard rumors about Nintendo doing something at the end of the month, but we didn't really want to wait any longer, so
exactly. We have already like seen a lot of games and a lot of trailers, and we can't chance that there will be a Nintendo Direct in a near future. Like, they usually do it, but it's not a given.
Yeah. There were also some other big companies that didn't do something this year. Ubisoft may be the biggest.
Yeah, Ubisoft Forward, they didn't do anything.
And then when you actually check a scheduling list of people that had something this year, there was so much anyway.
Yeah, I mean, as we talked before starting the episode, there were like 20 events.
Like Netflix even had something.
Yeah, Netflix geeked.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't actually watch that, but you did.
I skimmed. I know that they will be releasing games, and they also have like shows that tie into games.
Okay, but I guess we maybe could start with Nintendo. Even though I didn't say that Nintendo had a Direct, they still released some trailers this month. The first being Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the newest Pokemon game. That comes out this November.
Yeah. Apparently the major thing is like open world and playing with friends. Up to 4 players. I don't know how it works. If it's like simultaneously in all of different parts of the world, or
is it internet based or those all people that you see in the trailer, are they other people from the world, or?
Not all. We need to have NPCs. But when the 4 like people came together, they were all players. So you can actually like adventure with your friends, like, and explore the area, which in Sword and Shield that wasn't really the case. I feel like.
No, that wasn't the case.
We could visit the camp.
I don't know. I know that it's 3D open world. I felt like Sword and Shield probably should have done that, but anyway, I need to be more convinced of this game, to be honest.
They did do a good job with Arceus, from what I've heard online.
Yeah, even that we did an episode on that previewing when that game would come out. I still haven't played it, to be honest.
I mean, we're kind of busy.
And games are so long nowadays too.
Yeah, I mean, a Pokemon game, it's an undertaking, and we're both busy with work and school.
But anyway, how did you feel like they look? They also released some new Pokemons. The design one with a pig and
Lechonk.
Yeah,
and Smoliv and the hamster one.
You can even the names, I see.
I mean, there was like during the when they released the images, like there was just like a blaze of fan art. Like Smoliv is just this tiny little olive baby that's on the verge of crying, and Lechonk is just a chunky pig.
That's kind of what I liked about Tepig when he was released, I guess.
There are similarities. It's just the theme is different, because the theme for Tepig is wrestler, while here it's like Lechonk, that's like the food. It's based on a dish.
Yeah, Tepig went in a weird direction. He started as this cute little fire pig and then evolved into, yeah, as you said, a wrestler.
A wrestler slash sumo.
Mm.
Still cool design. And I only wish that, because as much as we like to discuss Sword and Shield, the aesthetic and the character design was really on top.
Mm.
And I kind of feel
there
like...
was one game where it was kind of future, and one was kind of like the past.
Oh, you mean
that.
You mean the legendaries in this one?
Yeah, and the professors.
Oh yeah, right. So I feel like with professors and like with the NPC we've seen so far, it kind of lacks the same like cool factor it had with the Sword and Shield.
Mm. I don't know. I need to know more information about this game, or maybe hear about it when it comes out, because I'm not convinced about this game yet. I feel like we still know too little.
Maybe that's the good part, because it keeps us speculating. Like, I think with Sword and Shield we already knew like the gimmick would be football and kaijus, but here we don't know anything.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say about this game, I guess. It's Pokemon, and let's see if it will be good, I guess.
Exactly.
Let's see. Then there was also a new trailer for Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, and this one comes out also pretty closely, 24th of July.
Wait, you played Three Houses? I see it on your notes.
I have played Three Houses, but this is Three Hopes.
No, yeah, but I didn't know you played the game.
Yeah, I have the game. It was a really fun game, to be honest. That's kind of why I'm looking forward to this one, because I really like the characters in this one, and I have played a warrior type game in One Piece Pirate Warriors, or what those games now are called. So I have kind of played that style of game. So I'm kind of looking forward to this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played Three Houses, but I intend to do it sometime in the future. But even I am kind of hyped. And in a new trailer, they released the Ashen Wolves will be also playable.
I think that was this trailer.
Yeah, it was.
So I am actually surprised on how many characters they are making playable for this game, because I usually feel a bit underwhelmed with the roster in the beginning. Then they usually add some DLC, but this roster seems to start kind of big.
Yeah, it's already a big roster of characters from each of the houses, and then you also have like 3 routes, which can go in very different ways. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I'm probably going to get that one, to be honest. Let's see. Then we have Mario Strikers Battle League, and I'm not sure if I have told you about the original two, but I played them as a kid. I feel like there have been many videos where YouTubers now just suddenly say, I love these games when they came out, and sorry to say, but I'm one of them. They were so much fun when they first came out. But I am a bit worried. This game has actually already released. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but...
I've seen some videos as well of it, like people playing it.
Yeah, I feel like it lacks content, to be honest.
That's what I felt as well.
And that's not something that I felt like now when it's released. I kind of felt like that the whole time I was watching the first trailer too, of yeah, this looks like Strikers, but it looks like a lesser version of a 2005 game.
It felt very scaled back. I know we just talked about complaining about long games, but even now I feel like there's no, like, if from what I've seen on the videos people playing the game, it's just a match. There's 4 cups. They don't really change that much. You play on a stadium that is in the middle of the universe, or whatever.
Yeah, the stadium looks the same too. Like they look kind of the same, and
because they are the same. I mean, the part that is around the field, it's just decoration.
Yeah, but
it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, but I feel like in the original, the stages, to be fair, they didn't change anything in the game, but I still felt like they looked different.
Maybe,
I don't feel that way this time.
For me, it feels just tiny.
Yeah, for me too. That's another thing I noticed about this game is that the football what
Field.
can you field, it looks smaller too.
Yeah, it feels minuscule. I was also wondering because in the trailers for the game, there you can like see 8 people playing. Can you hook up 8 controllers to a single Nintendo Switch system?
Yeah, you can. I think you need 2 systems, but you can play 8. But you can only do that locally, I have heard. If you do, you can apparently just play 4 online, and that would be 2 against each other and 2. Yeah.
2 versus 2, 2v2.
Yeah, but I heard for some reason they don't support 8-player online.
I mean, let's be honest. Nintendo's online servers or whatever they are using in their plays are not the best.
It's weird because no one, the people always complain about the server, and they don't really seem to do much to fix those complaints.
I think it's because it's Nintendo and they just feel like, I mean, where else will you play Mario Strikers? Like, they don't have to fix it, they don't have to compete.
One thing that you could say is, well, they added more Mario Kart tracks. Yeah, but that is you have to pay a bigger price for that that online.
You still have to pay the fee to play online, even though it's been quite normalized because like Nintendo was the outlier with not having like a subscription service, but now it's the standard.
Well, anyway, let's continue to the next thing, as that's kind of all the Nintendo stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And let's go to PlayStation's State of Play that happened earlier this month.
It was one of the first presentations of the bunch.
Yeah. This one kind of felt like it started E3, but it was still kind of far away from the others that it didn't feel really that connected, but it's still...
It wasn't the same week as the rest of the presentations.
So, do you want to start with something?
I mean, I think we need to preface, we will not be taking every single thing that happened on the E3 because that will take us...
We tested that last year and the results weren't that good.
It was 3 hours of uninterested footage of just rambling up names. Which is not different from this one, it's just that games that we actually are interested in.
Yeah.
So...
Or that we had some specific thought about.
Yeah, so to keep it short and brief, they announced Eternights, which I thought was just such a... I mean, maybe I'm just feeling the vibe of trying to romance someone, but it's like a post-apocalyptic, action-focused romance game where there's like actual like cuties for holding hands with your love interest.
Yeah, I have put some notes into how I felt about them when I watched them, and I wrote this short thing: anime protagonist, the game looks fun.
Yeah, it felt like a little bit of like Devil May Cry / Bayonetta. Yeah.
The main character, he kind of loses his arm, and his blood or his blood from that arm becomes kind of a sword
/ tentacle.
And yeah, you get some dating choices. It's kind of that main protagonist in where there's a bunch of girls around you, and
on a train. This
time you can manipulate so you can get the one that you want, I guess. Yeah, exactly. There was one option where it was, do you want to hold her hand?
Yeah, that's what I mentioned because I thought that's cute. But now that you say, yeah, this anime protagonist can manipulate a bunch of girls to get the one he wants. It's gonna be like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh no. I also wrote, God, I hope this doesn't turn into a harem. Because as you get the relationship with the girls, they unlock like abilities and skills. So it kind of feels like, unless you have like a friend and romance route, you're gonna romance all of the girls.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
Can you romance the friend?
Maybe, because there was also a guy in the train. So either he's a friend or he's also romanceable, which I say, hell yeah.
Do you want to, when we talked about the Fire Emblem earlier, one thing that I enjoy with Fire Emblem tree houses, I kind of do, one of my favorite part is actually thinking about it like a dating sim. Like,
it kind of
is. Who do I want to pair up with? Should him be with her, or should... I have a lot of options here.
It's cute. I mean, it's cute. It's because you have to, because there's like game benefits by you pairing off units. But it's also like, yes, you're shipping them essentially.
Yeah.
In case of, I mean, there was also like a male and male love option in with Shadow, with the wolves, Ashen Wolves. I think the leader of that house, you can romance them as a guy.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it has an kind of, it has an interesting look, I guess, this anime game. It looks kind of blue right here, to be honest.
A lot of bloom, a lot of like soft shades.
A lot of the colors I feel pop out, which I can kind of do in animes, I guess.
I'm wondering because like in the trailer there's a lot of blood, like as we see as the image, and it's also set in like a post-apocalyptic world. Will we see horror? And will we see?
It kind of looks like it in this picture right here, where he has lost his own.
Also, one thing I wanted to add: it has like a calendar system, just like Persona.
Oh,
so that's what I'm also looking for.
So it kind of is like Persona then, I guess.
Exactly.
It really reminds you of that game. And then a game that I found cute, to be honest, Stray, which is
it's a kitty game.
Yeah, it's a game where you can control a cat and he goes into different places, and one even looked like a Studio Ghibli film where it's kind of like this big magical tree, and I don't know, I wrote, I don't know what this game is, but I love it because it's kind of so cute.
I think it was announced way back, or at least teased, but did they release a date, or is it out?
I don't. I have wrote them actually down.
July 19th.
Let's see. Stray, yeah, July 19, 2022.
As we're recording this, that's tomorrow. No, we're in June or July. We're in June. It's a month away.
Oh yeah, but I don't think this is a big game. But yeah.
I think this could be a delightful experience. Just being a cat, going on cat adventures.
Reminds me a little bit of Untitled Goose Game.
Yes, I can see the similarities. Yes.
And then we have a game that Karol wanted to bring up, Roller Dome.
Yeah. So post-apocalypse again, which was again, I guess, the theme of State of Play.
Yeah.
So basically, you're in the Mad Max world. It's a wasteland, and you can participate in a blood sport with your cool roller skates.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, the aesthetic reminds me of Sable.
Yeah, maybe.
That's all I want to say.
Okay. Let's see. Then we have the Callisto Protocol.
Cholesterol Protocol.
Yeah. What did you find interesting about this game, Karol?
Oh yeah, so I wanted to bring up the game because it feels like they're going for Dead Space vibes. It's you on a space station, really vulnerable, and you're trying to survive the horrors that await you. And I think while in Dead Space there were a lot of like aliens. I don't actually remember Dead Space that well. There were monsters. Okay. Here it's like experimentation on human bodies.
Do you want to know a theme that I noticed throughout this whole E3? There was a lot of games about you being in a kind of space station kind of thing.
There was. I agree. Like, oh my god. I mean, even the last, like, on the PC Gaming Show, there was, they released some footage of Starfield?
or Starfield. Wasn't that in Xbox in?
Yeah, it
or...
was. It was.
Okay, anyway, I guess that's kind of what we wanted to say about this game. Let's see. Street Fighter 6.
Do you care for Street Fighter?
I haven't played a single game. I like the designs of Street Fighter, I can say that.
The aesthetics are really good.
And this, I guess this one looks a bit more interesting because the characters have aged up a bit more than I think they usually do. Ryu has a beard now.
Yeah. It kind of feels like it's like because I read something online that they plan to make this the game like the next generation of Street Fighter.
Is that why they're introducing some new younger characters? Are they supposed to take over the franchise later?
It may feel I feel that's the way because maybe it's the way to trying to reinvent the whole thing.
Yeah, they also reintroduced an old character. Guile?
Yeah, he's very hot. he has the style.
So he's back. I'm not really sure how I feel about the new main character's design. He's so ordinary in some way.
I mean, the new ones are not. I mean, I think the older ones they're still stylish. I don't know. I know that the new characters look phenomenal. Like they look interesting. To me, at least. Yeah,
but I feel he's not. When there's so many interesting, weird other characters, do you want to play as him then?
I wouldn't want to play Street Fighter to begin with.
Okay.
But if I had to, I'd probably play Chun-Li.
Okay. Yeah, you were more of a Tekken guy when I think about it.
Yeah. I haven't played in a long while, but yes.
Can't remember a single time I've actually played Street Fighter, to be honest.
Same.
So
it is a big game. It's just I have Tekken, so I'm not really into like fighting games anyway.
Something that I found a bit interesting is that Street Fighter 2, I think, released in like the 80s. And then Street Fighter 4 released like 2009. So, I guess it took a little bit of time there.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, then we have Seasons A Ladder to the Future, which is kind of a relaxing biking game, which I kind of enjoy. I kind of enjoy a relaxing aesthetic and just feeling the vibe, I guess.
You say it's a biking game, and I feel sure, but
that's kind of what I saw from the trailer, at least.
It's an exploration game with taking photos as well. But I feel like the story, like the premise, is interesting because, as they say, they only have one season before it all ends. What's the catastrophe? Will they die? What is gonna happen? Why is this world feeling so abandoned?
Oh. I did not know that.
Because the main character, she travels around the world and she takes pictures, she records sounds, she writes in her notebook, and there's a supposed end afterwards. What is the end? What is gonna happen?
Wait, she's a she?
I have no idea. I checked the Steam page, but I didn't take note of her gender.
I thought it was a guy.
It might be a guy. Well, in any case, that doesn't really change that this is an interesting game. It's an interesting premise.
Okay, and then I guess we get to the big one.
Final Fantasy 16!
Yeah, and this still looks interesting for me. I'm still excited for Final Fantasy 16. I'm glad we got to see something more from it. Square Enix, can you stop releasing games 3-4 years before they are going to release?
Teasing, yeah. I felt like after 15, it was kind of uncertain if we would get, when we would get another game. But I am so hyped for this. They have writers from Heavensward, from the online game. They have, such a cool premise. It's medieval fantasy again, and they have icons.
I didn't really feel like you got to learn so much new things from this trailer. You got to see a lot of the elements you can summon, or is that how what are they called? Elementals. No.
Well, or elementals.
So that you can summon, and that was kind of the main thing about this trailer. I feel like.
I felt like, I mean, maybe I didn't get a lot of. I know that the game was coming out and I'm hyped, but I'm kind of purposely not wanting to learn a lot of it because I don't want to set up expectations. And I want to play this game.
You can probably watch this trailer then, because I didn't feel like we got to learn anything about the story then.
But you see, I went on their website to like look it up more.
Oh.
So.
Why do you do that if you don't want to know?
Because I hate myself.
Okay.
Because this is one of the games I'm actually like really hyped for.
I'm really looking forward to this too. I'm not sure how I'm going to I'm going to play it because I don't have a PlayStation 5 or
the
newest
that's
Xbox.
True. God, I hope it's also I mean, we are so far into PlayStation 4 cycle, it probably won't come out on the...
Yeah, like PlayStation 4's games are... Like I could see on the release of many of these games, that cycle is kind of ending now.
Yeah, I mean, I hope we get our hands on a PlayStation 5, seeing that they're so hard to gosh darn come by.
Are they anymore?
They're still pretty hard to get. Not as difficult when there was like price scalpers, but each time I go to like a electronic store, they're out. But yeah. I don't know how much I can blabber on about Final Fantasy.
We're really looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. Final Fantasy 15 was a really fun game for us. I know that a lot of people didn't like that game, but we had really fun with it.
Exactly. 16, great writers, great premise, super fun. I wanna see it. It has also like almost combat from 15 because it's also action oriented. Anyway.
Okay, then we have one of the worst presentations I think I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And that is the Sega's Sonic themed press conference. And they started off kind of good. They released Sonic Audience, which already exists a game called Sonic Audience, so I was a little confused about that one, but...
Wait, they released it or did they announce it?
I think some people knew that this was coming, but they showed a trailer for it, and it was the first time I heard of it. And it's kind of releasing the Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles and the Sonic CD, which is the 4 kind of main Sonic 2D games in one package. And I'm kind of looking forward to this, to be honest. I would want a way to play those 4 games. So kind of interesting for me.
I mean, I like the memes, but I don't like the older games. I like the 3D games more. So for me,
you can like what you like. I kind of like both, to be honest.
I mean, I don't claim that my truth is an objective truth, but I think they're kind of mid.
Sometimes it's also fun to make fun of Sonic.
Which this is I'm a fake Sonic fan. I like to make fun of it. But
Sonic himself has made fun of himself, to be honest. In Sonic Boom, he did that all the time.
Exactly, and kind of also in like the company became more self-aware, which I enjoy.
And then the rest of this press conference with Sonic was the most frustrating thing I think I have ever seen, because we have more stuff which we are showing you, but we're showing you 5 seconds, them in like 5-10 seconds at a time. Like we got to see his new TV show, and we got to see something about the movie, but they were so short. It was like I saw a commercials for later commercials.
Yeah, it felt like they could have spent more time. Wait, no, they shouldn't. I mean, I still feel... maybe I feel kind of different from you, because I still feel like I've learned everything I wanted to know. And I felt like if it was longer, I wouldn't care as much. Like, as I said, this presentation was bad because they didn't really show much. They showed Origins, they showed Frontiers, and they showed the TV show. I only wish they showed more of the TV show. That's my only complaint.
As I said, it was one short clip which kind of confirmed that, oh, Shadow is in this show.
Yeah, but what's the premise?
Yeah, we don't know. And Sonic Frontier, they didn't really show that either. It was kind of like, if you want to check out more of the game, where the IGN has an 8-minute video on it.
Why are you showing an IGN? Like, we are here for Sonic.
Yeah, why don't we know more about this game that comes out this winter?
I don't know. Maybe they're not trying not to show anything because it's on the way to be bad. Like, this is my most negative prediction.
I'm not sure how I feel about this game, because I kind of wanted an open world Sonic game, because I thought it would be fun with his speed and everything, but I don't know with this direction that they're going with. It also feel like Sonic is a very cartoony looking character. Why are you making the world look so realistic with him then? And the game also itself has some Sonic elements in it, with rails and other stuff, which kind of just appear out of nowhere and look so out of place.
They feel alien. Maybe that's the point. But I don't know. There are mysteries about this game. It's just that I don't feel inclined to learn more about it. I don't know. I just feel so like meh.
I also want to see something more than green grass, to be honest.
Yes. Because the environment, it feels empty. It feels a little bit samey. It feels just like Unreal Engine doing its work. But I'd like to see more environments, please.
Yeah. Let's see what comes next. Okay, next up we have Summer Game Fest conference, which I didn't really know what this was, to be honest, because Summer Game Show Fest doesn't really. I didn't really understand what that would be about, but I watched it, and it was a game show with a lot of different companies came with trailers, I guess. One of the games that was shown that Karol found interesting, I guess, was American Arcadia.
Yeah, I mean, besides, I also found a lot more games interesting. But American Arcadia is a 2D platformer / 3D first-person sleuth stealth game, where one of the characters you play is trying to escape a futuristic city set in like a 60s, 70s aesthetic, and the whole city is televised like a Truman Show.
Yeah, I heard that this is kind of like the Truman Show, where the main character is fast in a game or something.
Well, I mean, if you're not popular with the viewers, they can just off you off.
Oh, it's that kind of a...
Yeah. So our main character is trying to escape, and he has someone on the outside who wants him out. So you have these two clashing aesthetics. 2D side scroll, like in a beautiful setting, and then you have like a grimy, techie set back outside the city. It's interesting.
Yeah, I found this interesting also myself. Not interesting enough to actually talk about, but yeah, it looked okay. And then we have Cuphead: The Delicious Last Course, and
which is finally out.
Which is finally coming out. Like the first Cuphead was delayed also a long time. So, but this will, I guess, more Cuphead DLC. When I really liked the first one, and it will be fun to get back into beating some harder bosses and rage again. But one thing that I thought about when I was looking at this was, why aren't they just making this Cuphead 2? Why are they still making this DLC? Like, it feels like maybe they can make a few more bosses and just be like, this is Cuphead 2 instead.
Maybe it's the scale. Because if it's a shorter experience, they can add it as a DLC. But if it would be a sequel, then think of like Silk Song.
Yeah,
that's part of the control.
This is starting to look like a longer longer game. In the main show, he even asked her who presented it, this feels like a new game, and she was like, yes, exactly. So I don't know, it kind of feels like if they just maybe would have added some more bosses, I don't really understand why you wouldn't just make this Cuphead 2 in that case. But anyway, it looks good. It looks more of the same, and when the same was already that fun and good, yeah.
Yeah, then we can take another helping of the delicious game.
Yeah. Let's eat that delicious last course, which is coming. When is this coming actually? Let's see here.
June?
June 30th, 2022.
Yeah, it's really close.
Then have you something in your notes?
I mean, we're coming up to it, but I see you wanted to talk about Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I wrote this. Honkai Star Rail's anime protagonist, the game in space.
Yeah, it's space the game again.
Yeah, but it kind of looked like kind of you're an anime character again this time, and now you're kind of in like space anime, I guess.
Yeah.
And something that belongs to that genre. I saw Space Train one time, and that reminded me of an old anime which kind of had that promise.
For me, I am not interested in the slightest.
Okay.
I know that they developed also Honkai Impact and Genshin Impact.
Are they?
It's MiHoYo.
Them?
Yeah, they're the same company.
Oh.
So you can already guess this is gonna be a gacha game. Which, I mean, there's not... Some gachas are cool. I play gachas.
They showed another game actually from this company, and...
Zoneless Zone Zero.
Yeah, I heard that they are so monetizing with their games.
I mean, there's a lot of advertising on YouTube, on like on Shorts, on TikTok, apparently. So I'm not surprised. But I feel like Star Rail is not for me. The aesthetic is really nice, but it's a turn-based RPG, and I feel like, well, I'm just not in the mood. Like I play gacha games, and at least like, and I try to avoid predatory ones. This feels like a very predatory one.
Feels a little bit of a shame in that case, because the games that you actually see them make, they look kind of good, to be honest. But
I cannot complain about the aesthetic, because it looks like a premium anime game. I just don't want to touch it.
And then we have Neon White, which has a cool aesthetic to it, but I don't feel like this will be a fun game to play, to be honest, Karol.
I feel like it will. So Neon White is a first-person shooter / like a Doom. I think like Doom, and it's also
card-based.
It's also card-based. You have like effects and different weapons with your cards. You slay demons in heaven, and there's also like a visual novel slice of part of it. Apparently, you can gift gifts to other characters. So there's maybe a dating mechanic as well. It seems cool and unique.
Okay.
And it reminds me of Ultra Kill.
Okay. And then we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. And Revenge. And I haven't actually seen a lot about this game, because I wasn't really that interested, to be honest, but I watched this trailer and I have to say, this game looks really fun. Have you seen it?
I think I actually skipped the trailer for it.
Why? Okay, but to be honest, I skipped a lot of the trailers when this was shown before, but I actually watched this one and it looks really fun, and it looks like it's inspired a lot by the 80s cartoon. Like Casey Jones and April O'Neil is playable in this game, but they are kind of looking like how they looked in the 80s cartoon.
Yeah, I've seen it actually as well. I haven't seen much about the game. Could be fun. It looks like a straight up beat 'em up, just going like something like Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I think you can actually play 6-player online in this one.
Ooh. I think I skipped this game because the original Ninja Turtles wasn't the ones that I liked. I think I liked
more 2003.
Those were with the like full white eyes, right?
Yeah.
And dinosaurs. So that's the ones I like. But this it doesn't feel as nostalgic for me, so maybe that's why I overlooked it.
I watched both when I grew up. The 2003 version was on TV, and the 80s version I owned some VHS and DVDs of. So I kind of grew up with both. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is not really a franchise that means a lot to me anymore, but it looks fun and zany at least. And then we have One Piece Odyssey, which I wrote. I really want a good One Piece game. I'm not sure if this is it.
Call me a hipster, but I don't know. I feel like if I say it, there's gonna be, if anyone ever listens to it, there's gonna be backlash. Because I was almost.
It feels like this has been a theme with One Piece games. So they look interesting and open world. Then when they released, you hear a lot of bad stuff from it.
I don't think we ever had a good One Piece game.
No, probably not. But I would really want a good One Piece game, because I found that world really interesting and creative of what you can do with it. I'm just not sure if this is it. It looked kind of, it looked like it had kind of simple puzzles and things like that. And maybe it should focus a bit more on combat. I don't know.
What would you like from an open world One Piece game?
I would kind of want it to be more about the whole adventure. You can be on your boat and travel to different island to island, and each island would have maybe a different direction of looking. And I would also want the story to not be connected to any characters or anything like in the manga, because one trend, and I think I've heard about this game also, is that they always kind of come up with some way to bring older characters back, like if they are traveling in the past, or if the characters are drawn from their memories or something like that. So yeah, I have actually played a One Piece game when I think about it. I told you this before, but Pirate Warriors, which is kind of like you know those warrior games.
I know.
That was kind of fun, I guess. I would like to have something more 3D world thing, and it would be fun to be able to control all the 10 crew members. Maybe 11th member soon if you're following One Piece up. Yeah, I would like to have something more with at least the boat mechanic, because one thing that is amazing with One Piece is that
it's a pirate ship. It's a pirate crew. Like,
yeah, you're traveling from different places, or kind of a lot. So maybe if you would do like five islands, let's say, and when you go to one of those different islands, you controlling like the ship and the boat, and kind of has some fun with that on your journey.
More pirating, and is what I'm getting. More pirate action.
And yeah, kind of that I guess. I'm
Maybe it's because I'm not a really big One Piece fan, but I am not hyped.
I feel like they could do a bit more with the animation. I feel like the faces look a bit stale.
Talking about another stale game, Marvel Midnight Suns.
You want to talk about that one?
I wanted to ask you, like, what the hell is this game?
I don't know, to be honest. I heard that it's some kind of card game.
Really? I was betting for another, like, a live service, more like Avengers ones.
No, I don't think that is what that is. Like I watched a trailer for this one, and I'm kind of a big Marvel guy. I was not interested at all in this one.
Because I was like thinking, like, they all have like all the same costumes. Like on the reveal, we see like a lot of characters that are wearing like black and yellow, and the enemies are like green and black. It's midnight, and they fight, and there's like Hell Rider and Blade, but we don't see any of the game. We don't see any of what it's gonna be about. Like,
yeah, it was just cutscenes.
Yeah, it was like, look at these characters. There's gonna be a video game.
Yeah, I was not interested in that one at all. Then we have Gotham Knights, which when I watched a trailer for this one, I was like, this one hasn't released yet, because these games, when they are released, kind of got him in that team. I think they released trailers for that like the year when they come out, but this one was 2 years ago when this one was first announced.
Oh baby, you as we go down this list, there's another game that falls in the same category.
There's a lot of games that falls into that category. We talked about Cuphead before.
I mean, Scorn, which is also announced. But anyway,
Gotham Knights. They showed that trailer where it focused more on Nightwing, I guess. I thought this was connected with the Gotham series, but I heard now that they are kind of a separate world. But you're controlling Batman's kind of sidekicks, and it looks fine, I guess.
It looks like Arkham Knight with different characters. If you can play multiplayer, I think we should give it a shot.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It feels like this will be good, and with the fact that they also delayed the game to make it better, it shows that they want to make this game succeed, I guess. Yeah, it is the same development team, if I understand it correct, and it's kind of the same how they fight and things, but from what I have heard, it's not the same world.
All right. I just wanted to make sure, because we see on the page that we're looking at the pictures announcement, but I guess I was looking wrong.
That's at least what I have heard. I like the neon lights, at least.
It gives it like a really cool vibe.
And then we go to
Devolver, right?
Devolver Direct, which was kind of a big long sketch with Suda51.
You're gonna hate me for it, but I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
It wasn't that interesting. They released 4 trailers in this whole thing, and it was 25 minutes long, I think. And the only reason why I want to mention this kind of show is because they showed off a game that was called The Plucky Squire. Squire. Are you sure?
Yes, because square is a rectangle.
Yeah, but
a squire is a knight's sidekick.
I thought they said square one day, or at least. You're kind of controlling this little cute character, which first in like you're controlling it in a book kind of way, and then he goes out from the book. So
it's a 2D Zelda-like-esque adventures with references in a book-like setting, and then you go 3D and go into the room where the book is. It's interesting, and you can jump also into other objects.
I thought you said that you hadn't seen this.
I've seen reveals, I haven't seen the skit.
Oh. Yeah, but this looks cute and funny, at least.
Yeah, I'm interested in how far you can go if you can also visit other rooms.
Like I really felt like this one made a good impression, because when you watch this for the first time, you're like, this looks interesting and fun.
It looks fresh. Like, we haven't had a game like that in a long time, I feel like.
Maybe.
But there's also was another game, Skate Story. That's also what I want to talk about.
I'm not sure how the gameplay of this one will feel, but the visual style of this Skate Story was really interesting. It was kind of diamond skateboarding, I guess you can say. Yeah,
so the aesthetics and the music is really good, and what seems is going to be good in this movie. What I read on their website is that you're a demon made of glass and pain, and yet you must skate.
I wrote shine bright like a diamond on your skateboard with some smooth music in the background.
Yeah, so the artists that provide music for it is called the Blood Cultures. And I actually add them to my Spotify after I've seen the trailer, because they have good music. I am hyped for this. And also, wanted to quick mention, Cult of the Lamb finally got a release date.
Okay.
So it was the cult managing / dungeon delving simulator. It's been announced like forever ago, but now we have a release date for that.
Okay.
Which I didn't write, but it has a release date.
Okay, then do you have some other shows before we go to the Xbox and Bethesda that you want to talk about?
I wanted to just quickly mention Netflix Geeked. Okay. So we mentioned that Netflix also had a conference in the same time span. They announced 2 series, one of which is
TV shows then.
Exactly. They announced Dragon Age Absolution, which is a introduction, or like a prequel to the new game that they're working on, which is Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
Oh, so they are having a TV series with the game.
Yeah, it's like a prequel.
Actually, when I think about it, that's such a Square Enix thing to do.
It's yes, but I think and then we also have a new Castlevania Netflix season.
Is it a sequel to the one that already exists?
Yes. So we had Edmond, now we have Belmont. No, wait, Ryder, the one with the blue suit and the cross.
Okay.
So he's gonna be the main character. Also, they released some phone games. I don't know the names, but apparently they look pretty cool.
Do Netflix have a game division, or what is this? I have
no idea. They also released I think there might be a chance that there will be games on Netflix, because there's like some light games that just require going and clicking on stuff.
Okay. Then some other conference, Karol.
Epic Games Showcase.
Yeah.
None of it was interesting, but beside one game.
Yeah, what was that?
So it was Lord of the Rings Return to Moira.
Oh.
So, you're taking the place of one of the dwarves that are sent to the ruins of their dwarven city to explore it and revitalize it.
Okay, so Return to Moira.
Exactly. So basically the game is a survival, dungeon delving, crafting simulation set in the Lord of the Rings setting. It reminds me a lot of... Deep Rock Galactic, and there's Lord of the Rings monsters, and you could be a cool dwarf.
We talked about what we want from a One Piece game. I feel like Lord of the Rings is such a unique world, which would be amazing if there was a really good game to it. And I know that there has been some Lord of the Rings games, but is that one that good, or does it feel like it can have more to it?
I mean, Shadow of Mordor was a really good game. The sequel was kind of ruined by microtransactions, so I'm kind of worried about this too. I mean, the whole Nemesis system was tied to that game.
Oh right, now I remember this game.
You're creating your army of orcs. That was phenomenal. And this also seems really thematically good. You're a dwarf, you go rescue your homeland, you can explore secrets.
Okay.
Shame it's on Epic Store, but otherwise it's a cool game.
Okay. Something more from another conference, Karol, or something?
So there was another one, Tribeca Games Show.
Did they show anything interesting?
Yes.
What?
As Dusk Falls.
Oh, what is that?
So basically, it's a, Telltale games where they have episodic, choose your own consequences.
I'm not interested. I'm kind of not interested in those, to be honest.
I mean, that's why you probably didn't pick it. So basically, what As Dusk Falls is a story of there's a family going to a gas station in one of the evenings in Arizona, deserty town, and as they walk in, they're being involved in a robbery situation. Another 3 brothers decide to rob that place. And they're going for a stick-up. They're being taken as hostages. And you have to pick and choose the sides, who dies, who lives. And there's also a police scene where they're a stick-up before the convenience store. It also a really cool art style. It's more pictures instead of a movie. The next game that I wanted to mention was Let me see. It was Thirsty Suitors.
Okay.
So basically, there's this girl that she has a very troubling moment in her life, and suddenly, all of her exes form a league that wants to destroy her.
Is it like No More Heroes?
It kind of feels actually more like Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh yeah, that was probably the one that I was thinking about.
So the League of her exes tried to mess up her life, but instead of fighting, it's more of a conversation. So you're trying to figure out your family, your exes, what do you want to do with life. There's like cuties, cooking segments.
How many exes?
Not 7, but I think that there's some of them. And that's all the games. Also, god damn it, I have to mention it because it's so gosh darn crazy. So, Tribeca Games Show, they have demos.
Yeah.
But you know how you can access the demos?
No.
You had to install Parsec, connect to their computer in New York City, book a time slot for you to pick 3 of the games that you want to play.
Wait, you need to be in New York.
You had to connect your computer through Parsec to New York so that you can access their computer to play the demos.
Okay.
And then you also had to buy a pass to pick up 3 games that you wanted to play.
Yeah.
It's so much. It's insane if you wanted to try out these cool games.
There was time for that.
Exactly.
Maybe the people that works with this, but yeah.
It's such a weird way to go about, like, if you wanted to reach out about your games.
Okay. Another game conference you want to talk about before we get to Xbox and Bethesda?
Yes, I am just shuffling my papers. I hope it doesn't come up on the audio.
It probably will.
But Wholesome Games Direct.
Okay.
So they have a Twitter account, and they usually post the games that are not violent, they're wholesome, like think Stardew Valley or the coming game called We Are OFK.
Okay.
That is a game I will play.
Okay, We Are OFK.
Yes. So it's a story about 4 band members that are creating music, and there's some kind of drama. I don't know really the story, but just look at the art style, how good it looks. This is a game. Like, people move. And the music in this game is also good because they have like official Spotify page where they post songs.
They have on a Spotify page?
Yeah. So it's about those 4 young adults trying their chances in a music career business.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's like a visual novel. I think it is. I want to play it. I'm so interested.
Okay, and
there's also Bear and Breakfast, but maybe I think we should go on to the next show.
And what is the next show for you?
I mean, we can talk about Xbox.
Okay, are we on that now?
Yeah, so they don't blabber too much.
So let's see. The first thing that they showed on Xbox and Bethesda's show was Redfall, which was the game they ended on last year. Last year we also saw a cutscene. This time we actually got to see cutscenes.
Yeah,
which
gameplay.
Yeah, it's a shooter where you shoot one vampires. It's kind of a promise, and you're in this spooky town, I guess.
Yeah, it's Left 4 Dead, but with vampires and cults. And also there's like a mystery because the girl that you can play as, she said like, oh, I have these kinds of powers, but she never really elaborated on that. So there's a little bit of a mystery.
Okay.
It was aesthetic.
Yeah. You want to say anything more about this?
It looks cool. I don't know if I will play it, but it looks cool.
I probably won't play it, but yeah.
Next game.
Oh, this one. I played Tale Requiem. The first time I saw this game or this franchise was last year's E3, which I talked a little bit about that. Well, it's gone 1 year, and I have slowly gotten more interested in it, and I have also seen that there apparently are 2 Switch versions, which they are cloud-based, from what I have heard, but
interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm becoming more and more interested about this game and this world, to be honest, which feels weird because a major thing about it is rats, but
you don't like rats?
I can't say that I love rats.
I would love to have a rat as a pet.
Would you?
Yes, I've seen so many YouTube videos of pet rats. They're so cute.
Yeah.
Not-
Rats are weird, I feel like, because some they are so in different sizes sometimes.
Yeah, they're
like have you seen the kind of a giant rat?
Yeah, they're like big chonkers or small boys, like just little puppies. They're, I mean, in this context, they're plague. They've been like developers literally said they're supposed to be the disease advancing upon the French countryside.
And this looks like a kind of a stealth game, kind of think old Assassin's Creed games. And I don't know, I like the visuals, I like the gameplay, I am intrigued about the story.
They gave Amicia a gun.
I'm becoming more and more interested in playing this actually.
Have you played the first one?
No, but I'm starting to think that I probably am going to have to.
Yeah, I think there's some details you'll be missing if you play the second one. It's like seeing the musical without seeing the movie first.
I think the first one is on PS4, so I can play that one. This one will be a little bit harder. Is cloud-based that bad?
I mean, you don't have the. I guess why they wanted to have it on cloud is because you wouldn't have to download it. Maybe the Switch couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
but if you play on the cloud,
I still feel like it probably is a better idea than buying a whole Xbox.
True, but I feel like if you have a good enough internet connection, you might be able to enjoy it. I don't know how much of a, input lag there will be. Because I've actually never played any cloud-based games.
Yeah, the only thing I heard about cloud-based games is that people are so negative to it every time they come up.
Yeah.
And let's see, Forza Motorsport. And the thing that I thought about when I watched this was, why do they make car games look so good?
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah, but in car games you're going through it so fast, so you barely need to notice it. But the thing with car games that I'm noticing from year after year is they are like the best graphically looking games that there are.
I mean, it's really funny because you said that. Because you're not gonna see a lot when you're driving fast. But I feel like, I mean, and if you already have the formula and all the basics to make a race car game, what else can you improve? Because they can't add nitros or monsters or any fantastical elements.
I guess you're correct in that way.
Where do you innovate?
This game even had a kind of day and night cycle. There was evening and visually speaking, this game looks amazing. If the car even gets hurt, every single. If it just hit a rock a little bit, that would show.
I think they talked about this in the PC gaming show. So basically, they also have technology to calculate how the paint on the car will be scraped off if you bounce against anything. So it calculates those, or how dirty it will be in which areas. I don't think you'll see how much the car will lose paint if you're driving fast enough, but they still do it.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because it is a racing game. It goes so fast, so you don't need really to notice it, but it's there. So this game visually looking is impressive. I'm probably not going to get it.
A quick announcement. They also. You also wanted to say about the DLC, right?
For Forza Horizon 5 DLC, Hot Wheels. I actually heard that they have done something like this before, but realistic cars in toy-based racing tracks.
I mean, it's silly because Hot Wheels, they already have a racing game out.
So I'm not sure if there's much more to say. It looks kind of funny though.
I also wanted to announce, because they did some quick announcements, let me see. They announced Persona 3 and 5 coming to Xbox.
Okay.
Which was nice. Just wanted to say, play Persona.
Have you fully completed Persona 5?
No.
Okay.
I don't have time.
Yeah. That's a problem when you have these many games that we're talking about.
20 conferences. Pick the games you want to play.
Then we have Flintlock, which I think this was a new game released, and I don't. It's kind of a new adventure kind of games, and this looked really interesting for me.
I want to play that.
Yeah, that is kind of how I felt like all reacted when they first saw this. That this looks interesting and cool, fun, and unique, and it has some new creative animals kind of things, you can say.
Yeah, so this is like an action. It's an action game. We can say what it is.
Action adventure, maybe.
Yeah, I want to say it's also. It might be Soulsborne, like, because their previous game, Ashen, it was a Soulsborne.
Yeah.
But this one has guns. It has swords. It has a cute pet, magic.
Yeah.
It has airborne combat.
What is he even? It's kind of like a fox with scales.
Yeah, exactly. But it can fly.
Yeah.
And also the setting is like this deserty Arabian Nights, what you call it? Very sandy.
Yeah, but it's not completely. It's not like an Egyptian kind of thing, but it's a little bit sandy, as you said.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward. I hope there's co-op, because Ashen had co-op and it was great.
So this looked interesting. I think this also had never. I think this was a new release. I don't think this had been seen before. I guess that was what I want to say. Okay, next game we have The Last Tale of Benedict Fox, which is kind of an horror 2D action game, which looked visually interesting to me, at least.
And you also like dive into your dead father's memory / soul, and there's like an eldritch deity helping you.
Yeah, I think you can do that with other persons also that you maybe can find in the game. So, yeah, it has some kind of horror aesthetic to it and looks good.
Yeah, intriguing. Nice. Different.
Yeah. Let's see, what do we have here next? Urban Shadow Legacy, which is kind of this blue-haired ninja kind of character which fights robots, and you have kind of shadow powers. You can go into a shadow and move around in that one.
Exactly. I mean, besides like the obvious that there will be obvious like shadow puzzles, and you're like this mystical being, it really reminded me of Assassin's Creed. Because like as she was sneaking around, it felt very like you have to sneak around, you have to avoid, you have to like stealthily kill.
Yeah, it is visually interesting. Also, the main character looks very blue, while I think the other things around her looks a little more like yellow, orange tones, or the machines that she's fighting is all more like white, I guess.
But I think because she's blue, she really stands out from the environment.
Yeah, that was kind of what I meant by that.
Can we also quickly talk about Pentiment?
Yeah, sure.
So the game is you're basically like a medieval artist. You can choose your background, and throughout your choices, you influence the story. It has such a cool like medieval painting aesthetic.
Oh, this one, okay.
And there's like just this weird like chessboard liar situation in the trailer that like makes me think is there gonna be like a mysterious power? So I'm interested in that. It's also Obsidian Entertainment who made Fallout New Vegas. So
okay.
Yeah, and also what was the other game? Outer Wilds. No, Outer Worlds. You know, the shooting.
Oh, okay, that one, yeah. I remember that one. Okay. Looks interesting. And then we have Ravenlock, which I have written down. Is kind of it looks and reminds you very much of Alice in Wonderland, but it's not Alice in Wonderland, which
it's the aesthetic, but it's not Alice. Yeah. You're not playing as Alice.
No, I thought about couldn't they use Alice, and then I looked it up. Alice in Wonderland, it's public domain, so it was more that they chose not to, maybe to have her as an original character for them, but you see very strongly, it reminds you very strongly of Alice in Wonderland.
I mean, I think that's the goal. I think a lot of the because it has this Victorian gothic / like fairy tale aesthetic, but it's also in voxels.
I would like to see more about this game. It looks interesting, at least.
I mean, I could
somewhat.
I could try the demo. I am on the fence about it.
I feel like this game can go two different directions for me. It can either look worse or look better. Like, I'm not completely sure what this game is completely going to be yet.
I feel like for me, I'm being put off by the voxels.
Let's see. Next we have Capcom, or have you something else in between?
I mean, they also showed off Starfield with Todd Howard the liar.
Oh right, Starfield. That was how they ended the press conference when I think about it.
Yeah, so basically he said...
I just thought that looked boring, to be honest.
I mean, they just wanted... I think they wanted to show the graphics.
Okay.
And but I also agree. The world was not very cool. They had the fish eye stares. The faces of the NPCs were terrible. But the game isn't out yet, so we can't blame him for that.
Yeah, excuse me, because you were supposed to say you had some quote from him.
Not quote, I just wanted to rant.
Okay.
Because he's saying like, oh, you can customize everything. Your guns, your clothes, your companions who will fly the ship, who will work on the ship, yada yada yada. And then you can also customize your spaceship. But then we remember that with his blessing, they shipped out Fallout 76. Which was a buggy, unplayable mess, knowingly. Like, QR testers from Fallout 76... Like, they said, like, yeah, we know the game was unplayable, but we still had to release it.
Didn't Fallout come out with something more this year?
They also said Expeditions.
Oh.
Which I am not touching the game. Like, a lot of people were burned out or, like, harassed on working of the game. I am staying away from Fallout 76.
Yeah. Okay,
no, go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, because I wanted to talk about the next game. So
okay, now we are moving to Capcom's Showcase. I think that was the name for this, and we have Monster Hunter Rise, which is a Monster Hunter game for the Switch, and they are releasing something that is called Sunbreak DLC, which is kind of a new, I guess, story in that game. I haven't gotten to play Rise yet, to be honest. I have gotten to play some Monster Hunter games. I have gotten to play some Monster Hunter games, but not Rise yet. And from what I could see from this game looks really fun.
Which games have you played?
I have played World and the other one for the Switch, which is slipping my mind right now.
Stories?
Yeah, I think the Stories 2, I think that was the name of it. And yeah, this game looks really fun, at least, and I guess DLC makes it even have more content in it.
I mean, there's a demo, so if you want, we can totally play it.
Have you played it?
I have World, and I feel like if I put more time in it, it will probably be more fun. But I wanted to, like, start the game and start playing with my friends, and you can't do that.
This game feels more action-based than World, I feel like.
I mean, just, like, whatchamacallit, the bug. Like, the sling bug that you can travel around, that you can, like, ride the monsters and then have, like, them battle.
Yeah.
It feels fun.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we have to say to this. And another Bunkers game. I remember... when before this presentation was about to start, they showed some old trailers, and this one came up, and I was wondering what the heck was that?
Exoprimal, yeah.
Exoprimal, which is apparently a 5-player shooter where you're in this kind of mech suits, and you're shooting down dinosaurs that comes out from black holes.
Why? Like, why dinosaurs? It just feels like
Why not?
I am so uninterested in this game.
I felt like it was fun and wacky in some way, but then they explained how you're playing actually in the game, and that made me uninterested in it.
I mean, it's just like, oh, hunt this many dinosaurs, or oh, hunt this specific dinosaur, or oh, you have to like go from point O to point B. Who kills the most dinosaurs? It doesn't feel cool.
If this was more a single game player campaign, then I would have been more interested in it, to be honest. But it has its own thing, at least.
It's it reminds me of Earth Defense Force.
So next on my list is Resident Evil. Have you something else you want to?
No, actually, the Resident Evil was the one I wanted to talk about.
And we have 2 Resident Evil games, I guess. Resident Evil Village, which I know nothing about. So, do you know anything about
Village
that?
is the eighth one, the latest one.
Yeah, they are releasing some new DLC, Shadow of Rose.
Exactly. So at the end of the 8th one, it's 7th and 8th. They're like sequels to each other. So in 7 we follow Ethan Winters, who is stuck in the household of the fungus people.
Okay.
And the 8th one, his newborn daughter is kidnapped, and he has to travel to like Eastern Europe to rescue his daughter, because she's supposed to be. I'm spoiling a lot of the game. She's supposed to be this special person. I won't spoil as much. And she's being like chopped up into different parts and being like shipped off to different lords of this village.
Right, they take the baby then and
put them in.
her. Okay.
Yes, but then she's put back together by the power of the Mycite, and
sure.
as she grows up, like Ethan is dead, but the DLC follows what happens after the game is ended. Yeah. And also explains about one of the lords that wasn't evil.
This is his daughter that is in the DLC?
Yes. She's the one that's been chopped up.
Okay.
They also announced playable characters in the mercenary mode.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So you can play it as the big vampire lady.
They also, what was it, third person perspective.
Which is cool. I
mean, it's kind of a new way to play the game, I guess.
I wonder if we'll see Ethan's face, because it's been not shown.
You don't know how it looks?
No, we didn't, because it was always in first person. So and also in the trailer, you don't see his face as well.
You don't?
No, they always kind of panned away.
Okay, then we have, which I guess which was the last thing they talked about for Capcom, and that was Resident Evil 4 remake. And I have never played a Resident Evil game. This one looked a bit interesting. You're kind of in this exploring a new village, and you're supposed to find this girl, I guess. I'm explaining a remake when I think about it. Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's Leon Kennedy. He's rescuing the president's daughter that's been kidnapped. We've seen the story already. It will just get the remake treatment.
As I said, I've never played a Resident Evil game, but it looked interesting. I maybe even want to pick this up, to be honest.
Do you like horror games?
Somewhat.
Then pick it up. I think it will be a fun game for you.
Let's see. And then we have Final Fantasy 25th anniversary. Or have you something else?
Beside the anniversary, we also have the PC gaming show.
Okay.
But I have not seen any of the anniversary announcements. I know kind of what they announced.
Yeah, but well, let's take your things first.
Okay, so we kind of missed on PC gaming show. It was funny because last year they had we had the corona. It was a pandemic, so they had to do it remotely. So that they did all this like gag of, oh, we're in a spaceship and there's this murder robot trying to kill us and we need to make decisions and fly through space. This year, they just said, yeah, we kind of not doing that anymore. Like, they had like a death robot that was about to like exact his revenge this year. They just said, we kind of killed him off screen and we made him into this cool PC.
Okay.
And that's the end of it. They announced a lot of cool games. They brought up Scorn, which was like announced in 2014, and it's only now getting a release date. We had Demon School, which was like a Persona game, Persona-esque. We had The Altars, which is a really, really cool game. I feel like it has a chance to be. So The Altars is a story about a man that is waking up on like a vehicle space station that's been rolling through like the countryside, and he wakes up and he finds a lot of alternate versions of himself on the spaceship.
Okay.
And he also finds a dead body of himself. And it's also like when you like in the beginning of the game, like it's made by a Polish studio, and you can hear Disco Polo in the background, like, which is like I had to like take a double take. What is the song you're playing? Is it Russian? Is it Polish? It was Polish.
Okay.
So that's interesting. They also had a game called Lehara Summit Kingdom. So it's a kingdom building game where you build on top of a mountain, and you have to watch out for like avalanches. There's like a lot of Tibet inspired imagery.
Yeah.
This is just a speedrun of everything they've shown. They also had, let me shuffle the papers loudly.
Okay.
So the listeners know I have papers. They had tactical breach wizards.
Okay.
So you are basically the SWAT team, but you're wizards.
Oh.
So you're using spells and like energy bolts and like throwing people out of the windows. And yeah, short version. That was for me the most interesting games announced.
When you said that for 2014 and then later on it's get released this year.
Yeah.
I started to think about this Ubisoft game, Beyond Good and Evil 2. I think it was.
I know what game you mean. Yes.
Yeah, but that's another game which is like, I think it has been in development for like 5 years or something, and I'm not sure if they're close to completing it, but that feels like a game that's going to take forever to make. I remember them like announcing it 1 year, and then the next year they came back and it was like, oh, we want you as a community having a lot of music and stuff in this game, which you can like create with the help of these companies for us, so you can have input into this game. And that kind of sounded to me like, oh, this is going to take a really long while before this one is released, right?
I mean, at least when they announced it, we're still talking about it. So it's in the like subconscious of all the gamers.
Yeah, but that's because Beyond Good and Evil is like one of the biggest titles there is.
But I kind of wish that they stopped announcing games so damn early.
Yeah, talking about the company that does this, Square Enix conference comes up next.
Yeah, they have
or
like
not their conference, 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII, which they announced some merchandise and some other stuff, but there are two things that I would want to talk about, and the first is Crisis Core Reunion, which is kind of a remake, not a full remake like for Final Fantasy VII, but it's kind of a remake in a little way of
it's a
Crisis Core.
Yeah, it's like a remake in the vein of they're not trying to tell a different story, but they will be updating the systems, the graphics, the music, the animations, everything.
Yeah.
Think of like Crash Bandicoot remakes.
Yeah, but not full high level like in Final Fantasy VII.
Exactly.
It's also coming to the Switch apparently. So that's something, and I never played Crisis Core because I have never owned a PS Vita, so more ways to play it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess like it's time for you to get into Final Fantasy VII anthology.
I am into it.
Oh.
I own a lot of it. I own the original game, the remake. I bought that movie also.
You
Advent
did?
Children. Yeah, I own that.
Did you finish any of the games?
Yeah.
You never told me about that. I know that you.
I'm really into Final Fantasy VII.
It's like I'm meeting you for the first time.
Yeah, is it? You knew that I was kind of into Final Fantasy.
But not 7.
7 is like the one that I'm most into.
Okay. Keep your secrets.
I actually remember the first time I kind of found out about the Cloud. It was through Kingdom Hearts, because he's in that game. I think, and I'm like,
of course.
Who is this character? He looks kind of interesting. And then I found out that he was kind of from this other game, and then I looked more into his lore, and yeah, I became interested in it. So, to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which they show a trailer of. We saw Cloud walking with Sephiroth and Zack apparently being alive. So they are apparently changing the story from the original Final Fantasy VII. Which I kind of a little bit... I don't know how I feel about that one, because I feel like the original story was really good. But I guess it kind of makes you speculate a little bit more about this game.
I mean, in a way, it kind of... Because, like, the original games are still here. If you want, you can still play them. But now you get more content, and it's like another angle of what could have happened in the story.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's like they are remaking the story themselves now. This is what we did then, this is what we maybe would have done today.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's coming next year winter 2023. It still looks amazing. Like I can't believe that these graphics you actually can play with them. And I played the 7 remake, but yeah, more of a really good game, I guess you can say. Part 2.
Part 2
of 3. They announced that there are going to be 3 parts.
So it's the middle. Let's see if they stick it. If it's gonna be interesting.
Do you think Aerith will die in this one?
No, I think she'll survive.
Why?
Because I feel it in my heart. She'll be protected with the power of friendship.
I feel like they have to kill her. I feel like fans would rage if they don't.
Why do you want to kill this anime woman?
Story progression.
You don't have to kill people for story progression.
No, I know. That is actually something that annoys me a lot in stories, is that people complain, oh, you're doing it too safe. Why is killing someone? Why is that going to make it darker or something?
I mean, you can do so much other stuff instead of killing people. You can manipulation. You can betray. You can they've been deceived.
That was a complaint with the Marvel Universe also in the beginning of it, and I was like, why are people rooting for death?
Because it's tragic and dramatic.
But anyway, I still think that Aerith will die in this game. I feel like if Aerith doesn't die, I feel like people would feel cheated in some way or something like that.
But then she can't be in a cute relationship with Tifa.
No, she can't, Karol.
I know. It will forever remain my dream.
Karol's dreams. And then I'm going to talk about a game that had no presence actually this month, but I'm not sure when I'm going to get to talk about it somewhere else, so I guess we're doing it here. Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced, and it's going to be released in maybe 5 years, who knows.
Back on the topic of teasing games too early.
Nomura even came out and said that it will probably be a while before you see anything more of this game. And I'm like, why are you doing this again? You did it with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sometimes they never learn.
And I'm not sure how I feel about this game. We wrote a little bit about this when it was announced, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, because Kingdom Hearts is supposed to... You're supposed to travel through different Disney worlds and things like that. I didn't see kind of anything. It looks like you're exploring this Tokyo version of...
I mean, this is essentially the afterlife. It's which is funny because it looks like our world and it feels like our world. But the first gameplay trailer, this is like really, really early production. So it doesn't. Yeah. It never said that we won't be able to visit other Disney worlds.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a Kingdom Hearts game if we aren't traveling to different Disney worlds, but Sora also has a new, more modern look, I guess. Nomura said something like that we're drastically changing the look because this is kind of a new chapter for Kingdom Hearts. The Xehanort saga is over.
The bald man has been defeated.
Yeah, so now we're starting a kind of new chapter for Kingdom Hearts. I guess so. Sora looks more realistic, and yeah, I'm still excited for it, and I'm still interested of what's more to come. But if I want to play Kingdom Hearts, I don't want to play a Japanese city. I want to travel to Disney World. So
I mean, as I said, you probably still get it.
We probably will, as I said, but yeah.
I'm more interested because of like Stalitza. She made an appearance, and she's from the mobile game. And she's been canonically killed.
I saw something also with the Keyblade of you can kind of use it like a slingshot in some way.
Yeah, that's also a new mechanic.
That looked interesting, and maybe some more new battle mechanics. Graphically, it also looks very impressive. It kind of skipped away from the more cartoony style of the past game, and more, as I said, realistic.
But you see, because it wouldn't be a Kingdom Hearts game if you don't go to other places. Will he remain this aesthetic if he's not in like Tokyo?
I'm not sure, because he changed aesthetic in like the Pirates of the Caribbean world, for an example.
Yeah, because like it's not a given that this is the look that he'll keep.
So still looks interesting. Has some, yeah.
But I feel like, is there anything you'd like to add to the press conference? Your thoughts on the whole?
No, maybe not. I would want to say, how have you been playing video games this past year since the last one we did?
So, I mean, I didn't play lots of games, actually. Like, I think only recently, like in the past 3 months, I started picking up games again.
Yeah, I kind of noticed a theme nowadays when I become older. It's you kind of take breaks sometimes, and then you get back into it.
But I think that's really healthy. Because it gives you the time to like, I think you shouldn't, okay, because like, I mean, I like video games, but that doesn't mean I play video games every day. And I shouldn't have this obligation on myself, like if I like something, I have to interact with every day.
What was the last thing you played?
I played Hatsune Miku.
Okay.
Color for Stage.
My last game was probably, if we're talking about new games, I'm currently playing Breath of the Wild again, or replaying it. But the last original game I played was probably Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which was a kind of a fun 3D Kirby game.
I mean, I always want to try it as well, actually, because it's quite new, isn't it?
The first 3D Kirby game, because he always played 2D before. Yeah. It was kind of fun.
For me, it was, as I said, Hatsune Miku, but that's a mobile game that's released like a year ago. I still play it. I become better. I can clear expert songs now, which I couldn't before. But
another thing that I wanted to mention before we end this, this episode is released. We have the Media Bubble podcast is now 1 year old to date, because we're releasing this video in 1 year later.
Exactly.
So it kind of feels weird that we have done this 1 year, to be honest.
It is. I mean,
it doesn't feel like it.
We still had to take a lot of breaks.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we stuck to it, because I feel like now we're in the flow of things. Like we have a little bit more grip when it comes to making episodes. I mean...
So happy 1 year anniversary to Media Bubble podcast.
And us. Cheers.
Cheers to us.
So, I feel like this is a good place to end the episode. So, as always, thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
I hope you had as much fun listening to this as we had when we were making it. And thank you for coming along with us on this ride this past year.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
have a wonderful day.
Exactly. And have a wonderful day.